Alright, welcome back, guys. We got day number 3 of week 5 action here as we got Bracket B's Crusher, who leads Bracket B right now, taking on the last man of Bracket A that we got to review, Bubby Live. So let's get started here with our games here of Jake versus Crusher. Jake starting as the white pieces, Crusher being the black pieces for game 1. We start off with a Queen's Pawn opening. Crusher gonna do the England Gambit. So I think Crusher reviewed some of the plays that Jake was doing, and he realized, oh, he just likes to use the London system. So let's put him into a different spot where he can't use the London system as well. And now we're gonna see, because usually the London system is revolving. Well, hold on. Usually the London system revolves around this. You want to get the bishop out early. Let's just say someone does something to defend the actual pawn, or actually attack your pawn here. That's when you do this. Blah, blah, blah. Do the bishop here. Puts the bishop. Well, you can do a lot of stuff here with this, but you get my point, is that what you want to do as the actual game goes along is get a position where you have a pyramid as well as a bishop on d3. Right here, the England Gambit kind of stops Jake's production because he can't actually put the bishop here on f4. So let's see how Jake actually counteracts this. Now, he can actually defend the bishop, the pawn, which wouldn't be bad, not accepting the gambit, but he could just, like, take. He could also take as well if he really wanted to. It's a free pawn. Jake instead goes and tries to negate this by putting the pawn up right here, trying to defend the pawn. Crusher responds in kind, defending his pawn as well. Jake goes to d2. Crusher moves the knight over to c6. And Jake is trying desperately to get his London system, like, set up here. And it's honestly, like, right now, like, the fact that Crusher even let this happen and didn't just take the pawn and trade pawns down is a good thing for Jake. Crusher gonna try and give Jake a free pawn here. Jake takes it in kind. Not bad. Crusher gonna try and put pressure on that bishop. Bishop moves out of the way. I mean, if you're gonna put the bishop here, just move it back over to here. Like, that's where it has to be in the London system, is right here on d3. So, yeah. h6 by Crusher. Jake has the advantage, puts the knight out here, and, like, right here you're starting to see, like, a little bit of cracks in Jake's armor, but at the same time, it's not that bad yet. Crusher needs to make the right moves. Moves the knight in. And we're going to see if Jake can actually defend it. And right here, I mean, Crusher still has this he can take. Also can probably take this as well. So let's see what Crusher takes. Goes for the pawn on b2. And now we got to see how Jake plays defense here. Opens up so his queen can get out. Knight comes back over here. I think the knight's trying to get over here to defend the rook. But this is defending that, so that doesn't really matter. But right now, you have a plus advantage for Crusher now. Because if this bishop comes out to take the knight, it's trouble. And it does. And this is where Jake needs to realize, like, okay, yeah, sure, this is coming out here to defend this, yes. But it's wide open for the taking. And if Crusher seen it earlier, it would have been even worse. Like, Crusher made a good decision right here, but at the same time, like, you have to actually probably get your horse out of the way here. Probably put it on c2, like right here. Just get it out of the way, and then just let Crusher do whatever he wants to do. But at the same time, just Jake wasn't realizing it. It gets taken. d1. Now Jake's kind of trying to cloud up the position here. It's not the best scenario he could be in. Knight's going to probably move right here and try to take this bishop. Knight moves into h2. Crusher did not want to trade knights for taking a bishop. Jake is going to take the knight anyways, though, and then Crusher takes the bishop. Jake going back. He's going to try and probably take this knight back. Knight goes back into the corner here. I mean, that's just a free knight from the rook. He does take it. Crusher going in for the rook. Does he see it? He does see it. Nice. Okay. Crusher's defense, like, Jake is playing some decent defense right now, but Crusher is not really putting the pressure on at the moment. Like, there's no pressure here. The queen's not really involved yet either, so we'll see how it goes. Right here, Crusher's trying to get the queen out right now. Jake is going to force the position here. Now, It's bad because if you just take the take it on a2 for the rook, this it's even worse because now you have to make a decision about your queen, and your queen's trapped, so you're losing your queen regardless. That's why this is a bad move. That's why Crusher can get away with this, and then like just the queen's gone. There's nothing you can do about the queen. In fact, this is basically your best case scenario for white. But Crusher instead goes for the aggression, goes for the pawn, and now Jake can take this rook, and that's what he was planning on doing anyways. So just take it. Let's just trade down rooks and get a better position for yourself. Again, it's still open for Crusher to take that pawn. Crusher doesn't see it. Pawn moves up here. Castle. Like, you can see the bars going crazy because they know that like this is a big problem. They know this area right here is a big problem, and whoever gets like the first hit actually has the advantage. Yeah. Let's keep going. Jake does the one move that he didn't want to do, because that actually gives Crusher the advantage in that spot there. And now this can take it easily. And he does take it. Again, though, Jake is still has the advantage because of this. Like, this is actually probably the best move. And they're saying f8 with the rook, so you want to move the rook back, probably. But, like, this is just not good for Crusher as much as, you know, it wants to be. Jake just throws his rook at the king, and that's a free rook. And now this does not matter because you're losing a rook anyways for what you're doing for it. And finally, Jake takes. Crusher does not take the rook back, though. I believe that's the best move, though, is take the rook. Actually, they're saying take the actual pawn right here. Crusher's getting ready to just go down here and just end this game, really. The knight is still in the way to block that, though. So it's not over yet. B7. We got mate in 8. Crusher goes down. Mate in 7. Horse blocks. Mate in 6. Can't take the rook. Go out. Mate in... Well, first of all, this was mate in 5 because the bishop can actually take the queen on c1 and put another check in there. And it even forces another check here. Because if you take the queen, you got mate in 2. Which is a queen to c3, and then I believe this is just mate. And if you don't, whoops. And let's just say you don't take it, you got mate in 4 anyways, so you're just progressing the inevitable. Anyways, Crushers puts him in check again, mate in 7. Again, mate in 6, finally takes the queen. Jake takes it, mate in 2, like we just showed. Takes the pawn, pushes the king out. There it is, checkmate. Jake loses game 1. Crusher takes advantage of Jake's inexperience and turns him into a losing position. So that is what happened in game 1. Jake, if you want me to be honest with you, you gotta learn more openings, man. It might be time to go back into the YouTube playlist and learn more openings, and people are starting to take advantage of your London system and your Carol Khan. Alright, let's go to game number 2. This time, Jake's the black pieces, Crusher's the white. Crusher goes to the king's pawn opening. Jake, gonna do the Carol Khan. We got the hillbilly attack by Crusher. Crusher moves the bishop out of the way. Now this is where you're supposed to take the pawn. Ooh, or maybe not. Okay. What does this do? I feel like you should take the pawn. But I guess that's just me. Knight goes out here, going after the pawn right here. Crusher going to defend the pawn. Jake actually has the advantage here. Goes into the corner, looking for something. Now if Crusher finds 2 moves, there's 2 moves that can be really good. And that's d4. And that's knight to e2. Puts knight to c3, so that's okay. That's not as bad, but Jake has the advantage. Jake moves the knight in the way and gives Crusher full advantage. Okay. Crusher now taking advantage of the center here. He's going to make the trade here happen sooner or later. Queen goes all the way, trying to force the knight to the king. Bishop going to block that out. Jake going to try and get this bishop out right here. Crusher goes in, takes that. Nice. This is open, though. You have to move this out of the way. Jake doesn't see it. Queen gone. And now we got the classic queen, like Jake giving up his queen. So let's just watch the mayhem happen. Jake trying to get the bishop back for the queen. Jake, Crusher says no. Jake gonna move up even more. Crusher goes in for a pawn, going after the rook. Jake actually at least sees that. Defense, going after the bishop here is Jake. Check right here by Crusher. I mean, if Jake's gonna trade, might as well just trade at this point. Trade. Okay. This is not good for Crusher, though. This is not good for Jake, though. As you can see, Jake is just getting systematically taken apart right now by every move that he makes. Defends the bishop well, but now the queen's there. It can just go and take it. I mean, Crusher can lose his queen if he really wants to. There's no harm in losing his queen right now. Jake just gives him the rook instead. Check. Going after your rook. Jake tries to defend it with the bishop. Leaves it open to get taken. Crusher realizes, like, you know, that's not going to finish the job. He's going to put this over here, and he's going to just try and bulldoze this spot over here and win the game easily. Rook goes there, and we got checkmate in one if Jake doesn't see it. Jake doesn't see it. And there's game number 2. Now, this is just a complete domination in game number 2. Crusher just... Jake needs to, like, look at the board. Because when you lose your queen early on like that, where's the queen move? Yeah, this move right here. The queen just staying there and not moving out of the way because that bishop's right there. You gotta like move your queen. Once he lost his queen, it went downhill from there. And Crusher just completely crushed his competition here. And yeah, so Crusher wins the 2 games. He wins the series against Jake. We still got one more game, though. Crusher needs to win this to get 9 points. Jake needs to at least try to win this to get 2 in his tournament here tonight. Let's see what happens in game number 3. Jake has the white pieces. Crusher is black. Queen's pawn opening. Crusher just going to mess around a little bit here. We got mate in 1, by the way. Queen goes here. That's mate. And he wins in 5 moves. Goes back to G3. G6. By the way, it's still mate in 1, by the way. Like, there's no stopping this, I don't think. Actually, they're saying it is stopping it. How is this not mate in 1? Oh, well, duh, because I'm not looking. Now it's not mate in 1 because of the bishop. Okay. But when it was this move right here, like, Crusher left it open how long? Probably 2 moves. Yeah, Crusher left it open for 2 moves. Jake doesn't see it. Goes in, takes the pawn. Nice. Gonna force the knight to the king, which is not bad by Jake. B7, defend the knight. Not bad. Queen goes in. Gonna force that knight off the board here, because here's the thing. If you trade it down, trade, King's in trouble. That rook is basically going to be free if that queen moves out of the way. Rook goes and defends the bishop. Jake gonna take. Gonna play that. And we are now in a standstill as Jake's going to try and put checks on the board here. So, just like that, Jake gets at least a point from a stalemate. Oh, God. Okay, so they just repeated moves and they took the stalemate. So Crusher will at least get 5 points in the tournament. He will be up to, I believe, let me check here, 26 points, 5-0 record for Crusher, still undefeated in the sets. I don't think he's actually lost a single game yet. We'll see what happens next week coming up. As for Jake, he at least gets 12 points compared to his 11. He'll be in 4th place in the bracket, and 2-3 record. So the A bracket looks like this: Myers at 22 points at 4-1, Shoes at 22 points with a 2-1-2 record. Ace is at 3rd place with a 20-point record with 20 points with a 2-2-1 record. Jake is in 4th with a 12 points with 2-3 record, and Bea is at 11 points with a 1-3-1 record. Up next after this, we gotta go and look at the next games. Would be Linty against Potter, and then of course the games with Jeff and Billy did not happen. Billy won that game from forfeit, so Billy got 3 points in that tournament game. I'll talk about that after next game though. I'll see you guys later. I'm out. Peace.